The man's eerie discovery. The oil painting had been hanging in the hallway for quite some time, yet strangely, the paint on it remained wet to the touch. Unable to resist his curiosity, he gently ran his finger across the surface. But when he returned to his dormitory and tried to wash the paint off, he discovered, to his horror, that it wouldn't come off no matter how hard he scrubbed. What was worse, when he woke up the next morning, he found even more paint had spread across his finger. And, if he listened carefully, he could hear the sound of birds chirping. Determined to remove it, he headed to the apartment's laundry room to find some cleaning solution. But the paint seemed to have bonded with his skin. Nothing could wash it away. Just as he stood there, at a loss for what to do, a janitor from the apartment suddenly appeared before him.
Did you touch it?
Touch what?
The painting. Well, it's too late. You gotta cut it off.
Cut what off?
You gotta cut it off.
Terrified by her words, the man fled back to his room. However, after just one night, he was horrified to discover that the paint had now covered all his fingers, and the bird sounds had become even more piercing and unbearable. Driven to desperation, he found a knife, intending to do as the janitor had instructed, but he couldn't muster the courage to go through with it. Filled with rage, he sought out the janitor, suspecting she was behind this nightmare. Seeing his distress, the janitor finally explained. 25 years ago, she and her sister had visited an art exhibition. She noticed the paint on one oil painting was still wet, and out of curiosity, touched it with her finger. Playfully, she even smeared some of the paint on her sister's face. But afterward, they discovered the paint wouldn't wash off no matter what they tried. As the paint spread across their skin, they began hearing sounds like birds chirping in their ears. Her sister gradually descended into madness and eventually left home, never to return. The janitor realized it must be connected to the paint, so she made a decisive choice, and that's how she returned to a normal life. Years later, when this painting reappeared, she was shocked to see her sister's figure trapped inside it. Upon hearing this, the man completely lost control. He ran frantically out of the apartment building, but as the noise in his ears grew louder and louder, he unknowingly crossed into another world. The paint had now spread up his entire arm. Then he saw a girl standing ahead of him, but when he ran toward her, the figure vanished. Suddenly, the piercing noise erupted again, this time beyond what he could bear. Finally, he made his decision. A few days later, someone happened to notice that the oil painting now contained an additional figure, a boy with a severed arm. He reached out to touch it and found the paint seemed somewhat unusual. A few more days passed, and now there were two figures in the painting.
Okay. Have you met your new friend?